Now in this query, we're going to have a look at the customer table again, and we're going to have a look at salesperson and modify date that we've had a look at earlier. So I'm going to create a query based on the tables window, the tables, so the customer table. I'm going to put in sales order, modify date, and I'm going to put in a count of the customer ID. So there we are, fairly straightforward. What if I wanted to restrict it to just one salesperson? Okay, so let's say I wanted to restrict it to David 8. And I'll just get a notepad out and I'll just put in David 8 and Garrett 1. So I can do that quite easily. Get David 8 into the criteria at the bottom. Problem solved. But then what if I wanted to change it to Garrett 1? Or what if I wanted to change it to somebody else? What if I wanted to give the user, the end user, the ability to be able to say, I want this person? Well, that is called a parameter. A parameter is a user-defined value that's taken from outside of the query. So it could be from a form, or it could be from just inputting. So let's change this to a parameter. So I will create a new parameter. I've just clicked on parameters, and this is called name of salesperson. And we have to give it a data type. So it'll either be text or it will be some sort of number. I recommend decimal unless you want an integer, or it could be a true false. Right. Or it could be a date. So generally it's used with text, but it doesn't have to be. So I'm going to copy that name of salesperson. And I'm going to put it down here as criteria. But you notice as soon as I've done that, it's put it into quotation marks. It thinks it's a string. Okay, I need to change that. I need to put it into hard brackets. So now we have salesperson being this parameter called name of salesperson. So let's run this. And we get a question. What's the name of the salesperson? Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste David 8 in. And there we are. Run it again, or I can view it, either way would work. And it's asking for the name of a parameter. I'm going to call it Garrett 1. Now, there's a problem, of course. End users not going to be very reliable in terms of typing in everything. I'll run it again. I'll put in Garrett, because that's all I know as an end user, and there's nobody there, and I start complaining. So with text, what I usually do, I've had a look at the like function when I was looking at filters. So like any number of characters and the parameter name and any number of characters. So let's just have a look at that in the zoom window. So I want the salesperson to match this following wildcard expression. Any number of characters from 0 to infinity, followed by my parameter, followed by any number of characters. So if I run it again and put in the word Garrett, it finds adventure-works Garrett. If I put in Garrett misspelt with just one T, well, that's still fine because the word Garrett with one T is included. And if I put in absolutely nothing, what will happen? It comes back with everybody, because what it's looking for is any number of characters followed by any number of characters. So that is any particular string apart from nulls. So if I was to put in the word adventure, that's fine as well. It will come up with absolutely everything. And if I was to type in complete rubbish, then it will come up with nothing. Now, parameters don't have to be specified beforehand, but it is very good practice to do so. Indeed, back in the year 2000, Microsoft subtly changed the rules on parameters, which meant that some databases that were created and perfectly worked in 1997, that was the 1997 version of Access, suddenly stopped working in 2000, all because they didn't declare the parameter. What's the advantage of declaring the parameter? it allows you to say what the data type is going to be, and that is actually quite a good thing. So you'll see parameters either when you declare them or when you mistype a field. As soon as you mistype a field, it goes, well, it's not one of these fields, it must be a parameter. It doesn't add it to the parameter list, but as soon as you run, okay, what's the name of the salesperson? Adventure. Can you enter the parameter number of customer IT? Well, no, I can't. Yeah, there isn't one. So you can tell from that there is an unintended parameter. It's a misspelling. So parameters, very easy. It just takes the name of a parameter that you have previously set up. So if I just save this as customer query 2, and if I go into the build, you'll see that under the query, under parameters, you have this parameter. So you can even just double click on it and have it appear there. And if I had created a form, and this is getting a bit advanced, but if I had created a form, and I'll just create it based on the customer, and I'll just get the salesperson, and that's it. What I could do is use that as my parameter. So if I just have to save this form first. So just click save. There we go. So it's saved as customer. But that's the name of a form. So I'm just going to close that and call that customer form, just so you know what's going on. So what I can now do is, instead of the name of a parameter which I just type, I can build, going to the form and going to the salesperson and double click on that, insert that here. I then need to declare that, all of this, as a parameter. There we go. And now I can run it. And so it's giving me everything that's on this particular form. So at the moment I'm looking at Pamela, but if I go to another one like David and I rerun the query, then it changes to David. So this is a way to get queries and forms to interact. If this is looking a bit too complicated, don't worry. It's almost certainly won't appear on any exams, but creating a parameter query is on an exam, so I thought I'd just mention this final thing. Either way, you add the parameter into the query parameters. If you're coming from a form, then the easiest way to find it is to build it into your query. So I'll copy that into the parameters. So declare your parameter, declare a data type, and then you'll be able to run your parameter and have it interact with either a form or with you typing in what parameter value you want.